I'll be starting in just a moment. Today we're looking at a Pharah VOD, and then I'm going to record a section for my Plat Scrims team. Slap that down in your stuff here. Okay, let me pull up like some music, and then I will get started. It's too short. Here we go, 3-hour live Steam lo-fi hip-hop pop. Yeah, it seems pretty good. Okay, we are looking at a Geomaster 53 here. Hello, thank you for the follow. Glad you could stop by in person. So right off the bat, I like to look at comps. Your team is basically playing a full spam comp. It's pretty actually similar to the meta that we saw during the grand finals with the Hog Sigma, Ana Mercy as a variant. And then the enemy team is more or less on a full brawl comp. It has a little bit of spam with the pocketed McCree, and a little bit of dive power with the Tracer. So basically, you're like, there's no easy squishy targets for you. So what you're mostly going to be doing is trying to put probably a light pressure on their backline and mostly try to grab attention rather than going for hard kills. Hey, what's up, Tricio? Um, McCree is like a little tricky because you can't dive him very easily. Like usually with Pharah, you would want to like try and dive the Widowmakers or whatever and close the distance rapidly. But then like with McCree, you do have that flashbang threat constantly, especially with the pocket. So it's definitely a challenging matchup. So don't get me wrong, Geo. But at the same time, their Ryan cannot do much against your angles. So as long as you're just watching the McCree and taking just slow damage angles on their front line too, like on their front line and back line, and just pretty much avoiding the McCree, they don't have much that can check you. So I would probably head around left and then around to the top of the building and try to create opportunities for your Sigma and Hog to play a little more aggressively. Nah. With Concussive Blast, you always want to be thinking about what you're trying to achieve with it. So because you obviously have the movement side of it and then you have the displacement side of it. So like here, it's like, well, okay, so how valuable is the displacement? I know you didn't get it, and I know I'm getting like into the nitty gritty right off the bat here. But first of all, Ryan has the nerfed in terms of how much knockback he takes. But then on top of it, your team isn't actually in position that would be valuable follow-up right now. So usually what you're looking to do with a Concussive Blast for displacement is to either boop a squishy who's in rotation, or a team that's in rotation to shatter them, or a team off of a valuable high ground position. So like here, it's just relatively low value. I think I'd rather keep it as a movement cooldown here in case I needed it, because now you have it down for like another 8 seconds. So it's a little dicey. On Pharah, basically your two options are poke from top, which that's an okay angle, or go for a quick concussive blast across and then drop. You can't really. Sometimes you can get the concussive blast across, and then with a jump jet rocket jump, you can go up to here in one go, but it's not really worth it. I would rather just drop down and duel the tracer or whatever, and go for mega, and then you can do the concussive the rocket jump and jump jet. Let's see what you take. So right here, I like the poke, but then the problem is, of course, it's like, well, what's your goal? What are you trying to achieve? Like, what's your main purpose as a DPS? It's not like a complicated one, like a knock. It's going to be the most obvious answer here. Well, in short, it's going to be to after the brief pause to think about it, it's basically going to be to do damage, obviously. So you're not going to get as much value by pushing into the shield, because the shield is the most, like, the main tank is the most equipped to block damage and like reduce pressure on the enemy team. So ideally, you want to be looking for off angles where you can put damage in or pressure in where they cannot negate it or reduce it in any way. So, like, yeah, you're shooting here. It's great. It's fine. It's dandy. Except it's not really, because you could also be safely rotating into the side area. So you're kind of just burning time in this rotation, doing non-valuable spam. Like, you have to think about where you're going and what you're trying to do, because if you're getting distracted in rotation, it's just relatively low value. Poke is fine, but it has to be intelligent poke and purposeful poke. I like this. Good looking on the tracer. So once again, you could move in for free here. You can concussive blast across, man. Concussive blast across. Concussive blast across. Concussive blast across. Nope. You used it for... yeah, so like right off the bat, you're playing very stagnant. Like with Pharah, you have to be rapidly rotating into the place that you want to be. You can't stall around. The reason you got caught out there is you use your horizontal movement ability and then you're hovering in open space instead of rotating into the crisp angle that you want. I know that you say that they'll shoot you, but the thing is a Hanzo, or I mean a McCree, cannot feasibly two-tap you as you concussive blast across this gap. It's just a fact. Because first of all, your Reinhardt is blocking half of the sight line, or your Sigma. Second of all, they can't predict when you're going to use the concussive blast, so they can't pre-fire or like pre-aim on where you're going. Third, it's just a really fast burst of speed. You can really easily get across here without any danger. So you kind of just waffled around and you got punished for it. You need to be decisive, man. Decisive. Think about what angle you want and go there. I don't mind that. Just a little bit of extra spam while you're waiting. I have to do reviews of this music more often. This is actually pretty chill. So now they're on the double hit scan, which of course is going to make things a lot more challenging than it was with them on the Tracer. But point doesn't technically change, because while you're going to be a lot more reined in, the fact of the matter is that if they start to look at you, they are not looking at your front line. So what you can pretty easily do is you can still take the same rotation, and even on the ground or something, you can just shoot a couple rockets in at the back line, and then back up instantly. You don't even have to get a kill. Because I guarantee you, the McCree and possibly the Soldier too are going to be turning their heads, or some of them might even follow you around here. And that means that they're not aiming at your front line, which is going to be entirely free to really just do whatever they want. You can even just rocket jump up here, rocket jump and jump up here, and you're pretty safe in terms of, like, even if they follow you, they don't have a good angle. This is too harsh of a vertical for them to be able to comfortably headshot you, and you actually have a significant advantage there. Once again, man, what angle are you taking? Reckless, 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 reckless. It works. It's not going to work at higher elos. I don't like that. So usually you're going to want to barrage only 1 or 2 targets, or if you have like a Zarya who can bubble you, like, it works because you have the nano in the pocket, so it's a little less dubious, but it's just really, really, really dangerous, man. Because if you just misidentify where you're at a little bit or miscalculate the resources a tiny bit, you're just going to get annihilated. I would say, like, the better choice would be to flank around this way and then ult from, like, here after you concussive blast here. Just because then you have a little more cover to close off angles, and you're not, like, going directly in front of them. Because, like, if you look at their view here. See, you got lucky that this guy's reloading. He could have probably 2-tapped you. Or I guess not because you're nano pocketed, but like you're trusting that these dudes are not going to hit you. You have to assume that they will hit you if you are going towards them. Same with the Soldier. The Soldier is botting. He's shooting shields instead of getting valuable damage and poking at you. Like, you are literally hovering in main above your Rhine, and their Soldier isn't looking at you. Yeah, see, he's slow on the draw, misses his tracking, didn't have his rocket cooldown. If he had any of that pulled together, man, dead. Like, don't assume that just because they're squishies that they will die, and don't assume that their cooldowns are down and that you are safe to go for it. Because, like, what if their Zarya had bubbled their Soldier? He would have gotten his his helix back. He would have been able to headshot you. It was reckless, man. I don't really want to see more of that. So you get point because you got a lot of resources poured into you. It's fine. Your McCree wastes High Noon. This is platinum or diamond? I think it's platinum. But like going higher up, this isn't gonna hold up in terms of play. Wasted concussive blast, 0 value. This is fine. They can't really threaten you that much at this range. Nope, stop using your concussive blast like that, man. There's no follow-up that's going to happen from it. It's worthless. Because now, what if the enemy team hypothetically pushed in out of nowhere? You don't have your escape cooldown. Like, don't use these cooldowns off of like instantly as soon as they're back up when you could need them. So this is like another thing. I don't mind Pharah pushing cart, but at the same time you're like, well, where do I want to be? Where should I be? So you're gonna be going over to here, and then taking an angle on this McCree, probably closer range where you can drop to the Mega, or well, really no, you just want this angle. This is the most valuable angle on this map right here. Like it goes this angle, and then this angle. These are the two value angles because they're like the large ones. So like you're kind of just chilling here, and that is like, sure, it's not bad, it's not the worst, but you're kind of just letting your team do everything for you here and trusting that they'll handle it, because if you're here, you're not actually getting any real value. Like you're not doing any actual damage because the Rhino's gonna block it, and you're not getting into position for high value plays. Good, yeah, so that's why you saved Concussive Blast. It was like weird in terms of execution, but it was a good choice to hide there, and it was a good use to use it to hide. But yeah, like, imagine what if you had started rotating here. So I'll go at like normal travel speed. So you're walking here with your McCree. You kind of hide in here for a moment, check things out. Jump jet up, maybe? Drop back down after realizing there's too many people. Take the elevator up. Shoot at the McCree twice. He turns around to look at you. You look down. You go back up on the elevator. He probably misses his high noon. You have an angle on people. It's like there's a lot more that you could have done. I know I'm not communicating it that well here, but there was a lot more potential for you to do things during that fight that you couldn't because of your conservative positioning. It's okay if the hit scans look at you. You just have to make sure that you're rotating in when your team is doing it, when your team is doing things, and without like feeding into open sight lines. It's like take the right flank, man. Take the right side. Low value, low value. What's gonna be an easier shot to hit? This tiny thread the needle onto the one person here, or going around here, jump jetting up, and then looking at this dude from right here? It's gonna be from right here. I'm just gonna tell you that. And your Genji would have been diving with you. Like there's a lot more potential value, and you're cutting yourself so short with just shooting the head-on angles only. Like their DPS have the map control here. You need to clear the map control. You lose if they keep map control. And remember, your tank line is on Rein here. Rein does not have any map control. He's not like Winston, he can't dive it. That means it's your job to clear the map. If those hit scans on the high ground stay up there and aren't forced off at all, that is on you. You and your D.Va anyways. Your D.Va shouldn't really be expected to do all of it, because DPS are also very good at clearing spaces, but wasted Concussive Blast. See, look at this. If you had your Concussive Blast right here, your Ana has Barrage, you could pretty easily, and you saw McCree use roll, you could pretty easily go to right here, Concussive Blaster right here, ult. McCree can't get out of the way fast enough, and you have this top bar to keep you safe from the soldier. He would have to walk into your sight line to hurt you. So the whole thing with Barrage is you want to use it from positions where you have significant surprise factor, the ability to receive support from your teammates if necessary, and where enemies would have to walk into your sight line of the barrage to actually do damage to you. So see that this angle is closed off to all sight lines except for this one and this one, technically. But you know that no one's on here, because if you Concussive Blast up here, you can see. So. Or even like right here, because you have nano, I know I said that I don't love it, but at the same time, like there's not much like your team is moving in, and you can receive a lot of support, and their soldier is at a really sharp angle, so it's gonna be really hard for him to get the headshots on you. So like, it was doable. It was an option, even if I don't love it, but it would work at this rank for sure, at least. So like, what I want to know here is why you're sitting here instead of concussive blasting in and jump jetting up and then having the angle on this Moira. Like you're content here to shoot shields, but you could like concussive blast can rapidly close this distance from here. It should go from here to about here to where your Rhine is, and then jump jets puts you here because you can go slightly sideways midair. So first of all, you are out of sight of the hit scans who are literally playing on top of each other, so they don't actually have any angles here. They're botting. And second of all, their Moira is just wide open, or even their Zarya. This Zarya is really exposed. Same with the Rhine. You can pump damage into the side of them here, but instead you're shooting shields, and it's just really low value. Like, do you feel how little value you're having here? This is good. Yeah, perfect, perfect, man. That was beautiful. You finally go on the off angle. You close off the angle. You use the barrage in a meaningful way to take out a high value target, and you're safe while doing it. That is what I love to see. This is fine. This is great. Beautiful. See, notice how things break down the instant that you're on the off angle and even get a single target off of that angle. Their soldier was going up there. It would have been a lot harder for your team. You deal with them. Enemy team no longer has map control. And even if I don't love the positioning here against the McCree, because you could have honestly kind of just stayed up here or something, or even like gone around here more, it's fine. Your team basically won the fight, and you broke down the enemy's organization. And now they don't have that shield on the front line for damage. Beautiful, beautiful angle. That's what I like to see. You go up here, and now you have an angle. They don't have any protection. You're not shooting shield. This is fine. Spam the choke. Area denial. This is fine. Drop, 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 drop. Concussive blast them. So that's a situation when you could have just gone out and then conked them back, because suddenly they would be pushed to here, you would be pushed to here, and it'd be like a very effective way to guarantee the distancing. Like, that's how you'd want to use concussive blast if you're going to use it for displacement. I don't mind this though. Like, you're on an off angle because you're able to deal with their backline here and their soldier behind and all that. You're not shooting at shields right now. Like, that's perfect. Once again, low value displacement. Keep your escape cooldown. Nice, that was good midair. So this is because you're getting reckless with your positioning. Like, in a devolved fight, where like there's not, like, when your threats are dead, you can take reckless positioning, but you have to always have it in your mind about when they're going to be coming back. So I think it would have been better to just hold this positioning on jail and even just spam from like standing on here, or cross over fully to here, or even like keep your hovering here, because like when you move into here, I know you're like having that higher accuracy and hitting more shots, but you're also recklessly exposing yourself to the respawns when you know they have a respawn advantage. It's like, always be thinking about your positioning and maintaining those vertical angles or horizontal angles. Like, you want the cover, I mean. Horizontal cover, vertical cover. I ran out of water. And for reference, this is horizontal cover because it's like something that is horizontal and you can peek up and down to close off the angle. This is vertical cover, where you can go back and forth to close off the angle. It's terminology I use. I don't know if it's like common terminology, but so Pharah thrives on vertical angles because there's not that many horizontal angles that high up, and vertical angles are generally the ones that are less accessible to other heroes. The music isn't too loud, Tricio, is it? I don't know if you're still watching, but I'll turn it down a little bit just in case, because it sounds like it might be a little loud. Low value, low value. What would be more value? Shooting that there, or concussive blasting across to here to aggressively get into position on their Zarya? You can close this distance with a concussive blast. Or looking and I guess you can't see the McCree there, that's really unlucky. Rotate left, man, rotate left. Take the angle, take the angle. Look at their supports, they're standing on point. They're literally standing on point. They're standing almost still on point. This angle is free low. Free low. Their Ryan isn't blocking it. Their DPS aren't looking at it. Their McCree is over on this high ground looking to high noon, which you should call out because if a McCree is behind you, he's almost guaranteed to be high nooning, at least at this elo. Because like there's a difference between McCree being here and shooting at you, like flanking mid-fight and shooting at you from here, versus like literally waiting behind you. That is probably a high noon. But like this is the value angle now, because if their soldier is the only one who's going to be able to check you, if he turns to look at you, your tanks are so free to advance, and then you just go to here, and then you can start like you can just walk to here, shoot at there, keep your eyes on the McCree. Soldier looks away, you go down to here, barrage the Mercy. Soldier has to walk into the barrage if he wants to kill you. So many options. You go into the grav, that's kind of sus if I'm honest. Like you're playing with your team this whole time and it just low value. You say that you're gonna die to hit guns because they're looking at you. It's probably because you don't have your concussive blast half the time to make the quick rotation. Or because you're doing it while the hit scans are literally like if you're taking an open rotation. Why are you backing up, man? You don't want to do this. It's nice that you did it, but like I think it would have been more valuable to just move up to your team. That's fine. The barrage is fine here because it's a messy fight. But like your team is already 2 down in numbers now. Like you're just missing out on these really high value angles, and it's making your team take so much longer to get things done. So with Echo, she plays conceptually much the same, but she doesn't hold angles as much, and she doesn't have as much reliable burst as Pharah. Like it's complicated because you have like the burst with the stickies, and I feel like she has like more precise damage, but then she doesn't have as much like ranged burst or as reliable of ranged burst is what I mean, because like it's hard to hit the stickies from far away, and her laser doesn't work at far away. So she plays better at kind of a mid-range angle, and kind of like a Doomfist, Genji, Pharah hybrid where you're kind of spamming like a Hanzo. And her, it's a little more okay to be playing conservative angles, but you have to be thinking still. You don't want to just be shooting a shield. So I hope that's not what you do. This is fine. I hope your Orisa backs up. Okay, that's good. So what's more valuable? Being here or being here? Really not neither. Like they're both the same about. It's a trick question. But my point is here, you're less open to enemy angles because like here you're vulnerable potentially to Ashe or McCree or whoever. Here it's a pretty closed off angle, like it's very easy to close it. Here it's like you kind of duck here, but it's a little less useful. You also have the option here to fly up and then hit your mines on the people behind choke. So yeah, it's a more flexible position. It's like you have to be thinking of like this is basically a lined up angle with your team. Your team is literally all lined up in a row here. See? You can literally trace a constellation through these dudes, make it a Big Dipper. Even your Ana is basically on the same angle. But then, like if you were here, this is a slight off angle. You can take people there. You can actually chip people as they go past the car. I like playing this spot as Ashe sometimes. Or you could be playing over here even. It's a really conservative angle. But then you're also being able to hit their squishies if you just shot some mines from this far spot. And I guarantee you McCree's damage is not going to be enough to threaten you severely when you're over here. It has too much drop off. You also have the Mega as backup and some really easy angle closing because it's a really far angle and it's pretty narrow, so it's really easy to close. You also have the vertical side of it, where you can fly up here, get some vertical sightlines over the Rhine, easy poke. Like look for these slightly wider angles than your team is on. Low value beam. This is like relatively fine. Your team has a significant advantage in terms of spam damage. Like you are on a full spam comp here with the Ana, the Mercy, the Ashe, the Echo, the Orisa, the Hog. They're all spam heroes. You don't actually technically even have to be taking angles here. I mean, it'd be a lot better if you did. But if their enemy team just like tries to walk into you every time as a brawl comp without a Lucio, you have a huge spam advantage. You will probably win just by literally standing with your Orisa too. It's not the best, and I don't like it, but it would probably work. So just don't feed basically and watch to match their ults and you should be fine. How did your Mercy get picked? Hey, hey! See, look, this is the value of an off angle. Look at this, look at this. Look what that McCree just did. He just toasted your Mercy when you have an Orisa and a Hog and all your DPS looking here. And guess who could have seen that McCree coming if he had been on the off angle too? You. Or even if you had been here, you could have seen him crossing to the off angle and called it out. Really, your Hog should be the one looking here the most, but hey, I mean, you can't control the Hog, you can control you. So, I'm not saying it's your fault that the Mercy died, but my point is, first of all, that's how you use an off angle. You're using it to put pressure on places where the enemy team has nothing to deal with the pressure yet because they're unaware of it. Or you can counter them by being there too. You can counter pressure with more pressure and anticipating that pressure. So you can see that the McCree is moving in there, and before he can react, you can hit him with a shot and stickies and laser. He's probably dead. That could have been you picking off their McCree instead of your McCree picking off your Mercy, or their McCree picking off your Mercy. I'm gonna be honest, the positioning from your team looks like gold positioning here. I don't, like, I don't know if you fell from wherever, but this Ashe looks like gold positioning. Because, like, she's just so conservative, but also at the same time, she's not even near cover at all. See? You can do that with McCree. He suddenly is checked back. Why are you poking back in for mines when you're so low? That is scaring me, man. Why are you playing ground echo? You have those jets. Like, your flight just feels really uncomfortable because like pop quiz, what could you be doing right here? flying. Like, you could rotate out of the beam up to here, because she's not going to be beaming you if you're in the air, because you're a low-value target to hit with the whole coalescence. And guess what's also here? Their Echo, their Mercy, that's free shots. You can also even take the long rotation, go up here, and then kind of like shimmy your way across over to here. And they probably will have moved to right about here by the time that you get around. You could have just used your rocket thing to get all the way over here, fly to here. You would have just managed to walk to here. Look at that. That's a beamable target, man. That's the Echo not looking at you. That's their McCree so far up in your team's face that he is not going to be able to check and shoot you. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. He cannot shoot you when he is past the wall. So, high value flanks, man. Like, your positioning here, look at this. You're still playing on top of your team. It's so low value. You say that the hit scans are going to destroy you, but you're not even like taking the opportunity to try. And your tank line kind of just crumbles because of the lack of pressure from your team on the enemy team. You're a spam comp. You have a huge advantage against a brawl comp as long as you just maintain the angles, but your team has no angles. It's completely playing a spam comp wrong. You're basically playing a worse brawl versus a brawl comp. In terms of transform pick, I like Ryan for the stall. I don't think you could have reacted to your tank line dying because it basically died while you were transforming. But like the thing is I don't love Ryan because he can't build his ult while also protecting himself. So it's like you're gonna take so much fire when you're transformed as Echo, like you're gonna be the main focus target. So it's like you're not gonna build shatters a lot of the time. Because if you fire strike, unless you had a really juicy fire strike, like those swings, you're gonna die probably in the time of like 1 or 2 hammer swings. And if you're just shielding, you're not gonna get shatter. So my guess is you probably don't get shatter with this. Yeah, see. So that was like a very low value ult, especially like in terms of better transforms. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're Moira or something. There wasn't. I really wouldn't have wanted you to trance there, but I'm gonna give you what's it called? Benefit of the doubt, and assume that it was too late to react to. Low value. You used your stickies all on a Rhine shield. What's the point of it? What's it do? Did it stop their Rhine from charging your Roadhog to death? No. It's not meaningful damage. Like, think about where your damage needs to be landing. Because the Rhine shield, like, people are like, oh yeah, burn Rhine shield. We need more shield break. Yeah. Sure, Echo can break shields with her laser. Sure, things like Junkrat are good at breaking shields, but you know what's better? Shooting the things behind the shields directly. Because then in half the time, you're doing the same thing that you would have done, except, like think about it. You burn the shields so that you can shoot the things behind the shields, right? But if you have a way to just skip directly to shooting the things behind the shields, don't you think you'd want to just skip to that? Like, this applies on, like, Widowmaker. That's a good play. Good laser, good check on her. Good wait for the regroup. Okay, well, Bob is going in, so I guess you want to do things. See, this is a good angle. This is a pretty... No. Why are you going back into main? Why are you drifting into main? Why are you drifting into main where you're looking at the Rhine shield and where their hit scans are looking? Instead of drifting off to this side where they're not looking and where all the squishies are exposed. And where you have narrow cover where you can close it off, and a mega health pack, and an elevator so you don't even have to use your cooldown to get altitude again. You're not thinking, man, about where the value is with where you're shooting. And the reason I'm being so passionate and vaguely angry about this is because I've seen so many DPS players playing like this, and it's something that I've been writing a guide on recently for the past like week, and trying to get the phrasing on about why taking off angles is important. It's like one of probably the most critical thing in the game. What? Don't cross back over, man. Don't cross back over. You don't need to cross back over. You can just go up. Yeah, get the mega, take the elevator. Oh, okay. But like, if you had just backed up, taken the elevator up, and then shot a little bit here, maybe cross over, like something like that, that's fine. Or you can literally just stay on the off angle and just chill up here. If someone takes the elevator up, you're gonna hear it, and you can hit them with the stickies as soon as they come up, stickies and laser, and then fly over to here, so he misses his flashbang, laser. Easy combo. Like, I need you thinking about where you want to be. Where do you want to be? Because you're not going there. You're like, you feel like you're just kind of like going with like a default positioning in your mind, or like in main, and the default position is not going to be the one that gives you the most value. I need you critically evaluating what you're going to be doing in every position. No, why would you come out the main door instead of this door? Like, this is a minor thing, but this door has hit scans. This door is exposed. This door is not on an angle. This door is on an angle, is protected from hit scans, and gives you good sight lines. It just win-win-win. Like, think about your position, man. Think about where you're going. Why are you flying in main? Does this look like you're protected? There's nothing here. And what value are you going to get? Can you reasonably expect to kill any of these people except Mercy? I don't think you were even the one who hit Mercy. Let's see. I think yeah, that was your hog that did that. And you're not even looking at the person that you just saw hog hook. Beam her, beam her, beam her, beam her, beam her. Beam. You don't even beam her, you beam the Zarya instead. Like, yeah, you got it, but now you're in danger. Like, your team wins this, but you cannot rely on this, man. I don't want you relying on this. You just flew down an open hallway towards a hit scan that had a Mercy, technically. And the only reason you survive is because your ball was doing things and your hog were doing things. Don't rely on your team to do that stuff for you. Take the angle. Take the angle. Take the angle. Or, like, just play far back and chill. You don't have to, like, take this, like, hard dive in. I might actually, I think I'm actually gonna stop my stream after this VOD, just so it's not going too late into the night, and because I have a couple other things I have to do. I'll probably try and do the team section later. This is fine, just, well, actually, no, you don't really need to be poking here. You're not gonna get kills, you're not building ult charge because you already have your ult. There's no reason to poke here. You could scout, you could, like, kind of be up here, looking around, but there's not actually any reason to poke. You're not getting any ult charge. They're just gonna get ult charge from healing your damage. You only really need to be doing damage if there's actually reasonable likelihood of you getting kills. Why are you on the ground here? There's no cover. You could be playing here. You could be playing here. You could be playing up here with your where you have horizontal cover. You could play here, 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 even here. Just not here. Like, there's no cover there. Like, you're complaining that his skins are shooting you. If they're McCree here, it was here. No wonder you're gonna die to them. Why? What's the point of this transform? Do you think you can close this distance? Has the enemy team engaged? No, and no. The enemy team has not engaged. They're even down 2. Your team is under really no threat at all. And you can't close this distance, and you pick the one melee character in the game that is literally reliable. Like, Ryan uses Lucio as a crutch to get around the map. It's like his little, like, motor scooter chair, because he can't physically get around the map otherwise. So you basically turn into the crippled guy as your hero of choice when they're a mile away. How are you going to get there without your wheelchair? You're not. This is going to be a completely wasted ultimate. You charge in at best, and, like, see? Your Ashe just ends up doing everything. It doesn't even end up mattering. This is fine. I like that. Why are you going back in main? Please do not go back in main. This is good. I like that. That's good poke. See? No threat. You got a little bit of ult charge, and you're safe. Not good poke, because you're shooting at a Rhine shield. Good poke. You're checking the tracer, and you're on the angle. This is also fine because their Rhine is inting, and you know he has Shatter here probably. Or no, because he used Shatter last fight. So their Rhine is just weird. I don't know what he's doing. He's literally feeding. That's like a silver Rhine. Yeah, see, he just feeds. This is fine. I don't mind that you're in the open here because their team doesn't have their main tank. They can't take space. They're basically already lost the fight. See, like, their enemy team is just feeding here. Watch the angles, though. Like, you're kind of playing in, like, the open here versus their McCree. I would rather you just literally chill. Maybe, like, sit here where you can use this vertical cover. Your ball uses mines for no reason. It's just how it goes. Good angle, good angle. Back up, back up. You know they're coming up here. You know they're coming up here. You take the wide, like, instead of flying up, make sure you're going back. Yeah, because, like, you flew up there. That was, like, kind of greedy. You could have been picked. This is fine. Like, playing back is fine. That's okay. Yeah, I like that beam. Unlucky with the pulse bomb. No, 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 no. This is really bad. This is a 3v1. And you know the rest of their team is probably going to be on cart. And you got the pick on the Mercy, but that is so dangerous. You're going to die here instantly. Then this is basically throwing the fight. Because from here, this is still pretty winnable. If you just stay alive up here, on the cross angle from your Ashe and Mercy and Ana, your Ana can heal you first of all. Ashe has the crossfire with you. What can they do? They don't have their shield. McCree cannot aim at you and the Ashe at the same time, and the Ashe has the range advantage. Tracer cannot very easily close the distance to either of you. Zarya is helpless against both of you. She's not good against these ranged angles. If you just stayed up here, this fight would have been winnable. I almost guarantee it. Because they don't have their main tank. I almost guarantee it. I'm like 90% sure it would have been won, potentially, if you had not dropped down there and tried to take the 3v1. See, Ashe gets a pick. And their McCree has to solo high noon her. If she had better positioning, she also could have gone out. So that's kind of unlucky. But I wonder if your Mercy goes for the res. Yeah, see, the Mercy even goes for the res. So if you had just been here and moving in now, easy kill on the Moira, easy kill on the McCree, done. Done deal. And your Ashe even kills the McCree too. There's only one person left. Like, this should be one for your team now. You even have your ult. As long as you don't drastically feed, this is a one fight for you. Copy the Hog. Or no, the Hog is on your team. Copy the Moira or the Tracer, or even the McCree, and you win this. Or the ball. No, not the Rhine. It's, see, like, look at this. Even if you get your Shatter, it's such a low value thing. It's so hard to get the follow-up on. Rein is not built for follow-up on his own ult. If you had just gone ball and zoned out point and then gotten mines, that would have been GG. There's nothing they could do against that. Oh my gosh. And if you were here, if you had dropped down to, instead of going into main, if you had gone here, Mercy is free low. McCree might be free low because he can't look at your hog and at you at the same time, and you could duck in this doorway to avoid him. Ball is free low. None of them are going to be looking at you if you're on that angle. But instead, you line up with your team. Look at there, everyone. All in a line. Just all on this one axis, all looking at the cart. So therefore, the enemy team can also line up in a line, all looking at you, all on the cart. And guess who has the numbers advantage? Not you guys anymore. Now it's 4 versus 6. You're not going to win the battle of lined up on the cart anymore. And then Tracer counters you when you're on the ground. Fly, fly, fly. I don't mind that. It's reckless, but maybe with the pocket you could have done it. But like your ult just, you wasted it there. There was so much more potential for value, I think. And then with the positioning after it, I think that was another thing. But really, like, the guffed off angles on offense and then the passiveness a lot of the times on Echo, like, you're not getting the value out of these heroes that you could be getting. You're getting about 50% of their potential value. I want you to watch a guy like Naga or something, like a really good Echo player, and he has a pretty destructive Pharah too. I saw him playing both on a stream 1 or 2 days ago. Like, he really shows like those off angles and like the mechanics, and that they're both very viable heroes. The Echo, of course, is more than viable. She's just straight up extremely strong right now. So yeah, my assignments for you are watch the concussive blast use. Make sure that that's high value. Think about where you want to be, not where you are, and get to where you want to be. Focus on angles instead of shooting just Rhine shields, and like look for the value, man. And with that, this stream is going to come to a close because I have to do some other stuff, but hopefully I can get to some other things tomorrow. Thank you for coming, the people who came briefly. Bye.